The Washington Wizards declined Landry Shamet's $11 million option. And could Tyus Jones walk for free? Plus, we're going to look at Summer League roster and schedules next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again, and I hope you guys had a blessed and safe and enjoyable weekend. And I appreciate you guys making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. As the playoffs wind down, the sports stop sporting like we want them to. But this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So just visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, everybody. The Washington Wizards declined Landry Shamet's $11 million option. Tyus Jones, could he walk for nothing? And how would these moves, or in the case of Tyus Jones, potential moves, impact the depth chart going forward? And we're looking at the Summer League's roster and schedule. Obviously, is right around the corner, man. So we're definitely going to look at those two things. But let's get started with the first topic for the night. The Washington Wizards declined Landry Shamet's $11 million option. So looking at the news, the story is from Adrian Wojnarowski from ESPN. He is outside of Shams, the other really good inside source in the NBA, man. And he says, quote unquote, the Washington Wizards are declining the $11 million option on guard Landry Shamet's contract. Sources tell ESPN, a career 38.4% three-point shooter, Shamet would now join the free agent market. So before we're kind of looking at the overall question, am I surprised? No. You know, when they drafted Bub Carrington and Keyshawn George, you knew that, look, they had to free up minutes in that second unit. So looking at, you know, them declining Landry Shamet's contract, not only does that affect Landry Shamet, obviously, because now he's a free agent, and now a lot, you know, it loosens up a lot more minutes for Keyshawn George and Bub Carrington. Well, you know, Keyshawn George very well could start with a go-go. We don't know yet. Definitely is contingent on, you know, how he performs in Summer League. But I think that they definitely have to loosen up minutes. You know, I think that them departing with Landry Shamet should be a surprise for anybody. It was a necessary move because, you know, look, they grabbed 3 guys in this draft, and it now has to, you know, small, you know, here and there, but small ways become more and more a youth movement, you know. So he's got to be more and more of a youth movement. You know, look at, you know, Denny, you know, at the age, you know, we're going to get past his trade, but, you know, Will Dawkins trying to put his stamp on his front office. You know, he's trying to, you know, make it his. You know, if you look at Denny, you know, he moved on from a guy who was a Tommy Shepard move. Is that a reason to move a guy? Nah, but every general manager, every sport does that. They come in, they put their mark on their front office, they prioritize their own guys. And you know that, you know, Bilal Coulibaly was the only guy that was untouchable. So I wasn't surprised by that move. And I'm not surprised by Landry Shamet, you know, a veteran guy who is definitely going to get some interest in the free agent market. But, you know, just they need minutes for Keyshawn George and Bub Carrington on the second unit. So not surprised by this move. And I think it's definitely a necessary move because you free up a little bit of money. Not that money was an issue, but you definitely free up a little bit of money because it was 2 years, not guaranteed, but you're off the hook with that contract. And you definitely can now loosen up minutes for, again, Bub Carrington and Keyshawn George in the second unit. And, you know, and amongst other guys, maybe Johnny Davis is a guy that could get more minutes. But with the drafting of Bub Carrington and Keyshawn George, I'll be honest with you, I'll be very, very surprised if he's retained. You know, I think that Johnny Davis could very well be on his way out now. You know, could the front office say, man, you know, one more chance, one more year, try to get this guy right? Maybe. But again, looking at Denny, looking at your possible Corey Kispert move, you know, Rui being gone, even though that wasn't on Will Dawkins or that wasn't his move. But, you know, the loyalty to the Tommy Shepard draft picks, you see that the road was getting less and less and less. You know, Denny, they got maximum value for Denny. You know, Corey Kispert, his name's been involved in trade rumors. You know, Johnny Davis, the jury's out, but I think that 3/4 of the fan base probably think that Johnny's on his way out. And, you know, with his sample size, you could probably say, look, but on the flip side of the coin, have they done everything they could to get him right? It's another question, especially on the other, flip side of the coin. Have they done everything to give him the opportunity to succeed? And then if you flip the coin again, you know, has he maximized playing opportunities? So, you know, like I said, you know, the sample size, you know, is it long enough? I think so. And the fact that he has struggled mightily at the NBA level, I think he very well could be on his way out. So Tyus Jones, could he walk for nothing? And with Tyus Jones with a potential signing trade or him walking for nothing and Landry Shamet's $11 million option, how do these moves impact the depth chart? But before we get into the depth chart, Tyus Jones, could they very well get a signing trade for him? Yes, there is some interest in the free agent market, but from sources say he has not gotten the attention that he's wanted. Now, could a reunion be possible in DC? I'm not going to completely close the door on a Tyus Jones reunion, but I think all arrows point towards Jordan Poole being the starting point guard. And I think that needs to be the move. I think that Jordan Poole needs to be the guy running point, at least for the next 3 years. Maybe you get his value up. I mean, Tyus Jones just wouldn't fit. You bring him back in the fold, it would probably be the start. And so you're looking at Jordan Poole being the sixth man because we've seen what a backcourt with Tyus Jones and Jordan Poole is, which is they're undersized and the defense is just not very good, right? But when you throw in Bub Carrington, when you throw in Jared Butler, we don't talk enough about Jared Butler. And obviously, you're looking towards the future, you're looking a little more towards Bub Carrington. But Jared Butler, this is his last year of his contract being guaranteed. So where does he fall in the rotation point guard? So I just don't think he would fit. I think that with them being number one in pace in the second half of last season, you want to see a team that pushes the pace and really attacks teams in transition. And you look at the players, especially in the starting five, because the potential starting five is looking like Jordan Poole at the 1, Bilal Coulibaly at the 2, 3 Kyle Kuzma, which is a really good setup for him. The 4 Alex Sarr and the 5 Jonas Valanciunas, which Valanciunas is still somewhat light on his feet at his age, but this is a team that's going to really pick up the pace. They're going to get faster in transition, and they're really going to attack teams in transition and really, really speed up possessions, man. So, and that's what I want to see with this team. I think Jordan Poole is the answer at point guard long term. Like I said, I'm not going to close the door completely on Tyus Jones because it is known that he likes the organization, he likes the city, his family's comfortable here. Kyle Kuzma is another player where he likes DC. He loves, he's got his roots in the community as far as charity, as far as setting up small businesses. So, we got guys who want to be here, and Tyus Jones is one of those guys. So, would the Wizards right now completely shut the door on a reunion? I'm not going to say no right now, but that changes things, right? Because we know that Jordan Poole needs the ball in his hands to be successful. With his age, he's a guy that, he fits the timeline if you want him to be a permanent piece. And if you want him to bring his value up to be a trade asset, then he's got to have the ball in his hands. He needs to be the starting point guard, in my opinion. I think this ship has sailed on Tyus Jones. But here's the thing. Why would, there's a chance, yes, that we could do a sign and trade. But, I mean, it's becoming more and more, likely that he could walk for free. And it really paints another picture as far as what your opinion is on the KP trade, sending Kristaps Porzingis to the Boston Celtics, where he got his ring, congrats for him. But Tyus Jones was the guy, the hallmark of that move for us. And if he walks for nothing, man, then that will probably be the only blemish on Will Dawkins' record as far as, because up to this point, he's done immaculate, in my opinion. Drafting, he's done well. Trading, he's done well. As far as free agent signings, we'll see, how much is left in the tank for Jonas Valanciunas. And Kyle Kuzma, he has performed very well in DC, being the number one option. So I think that's a good free agent signing because it's a team-friendly deal. So we'll see, but I think that the chances are getting higher and higher as the weeks go on, man, that, you very well can see Tyus Jones leave for nothing. So kind of doing an updated depth chart. Where's the depth chart right now for the Washington Wizards? And obviously there's a lot of moves that still need to be made. But looking at the depth chart right now, and obviously I'm looking at ESPN, it is not complete. So I'm going to kind of doing on the fly here real quick because they only have power forward and center. And obviously, looking at the center position, Jonas Valanciunas is going to start with Rashawn Holmes being the number 2. Marvin Bagley III very well could be the third center. And also, but if you look at Patrick Baldwin Jr., where does he slide in as far as the second unit? You can see him at the 3, could see him at the 4. So right now, it varies right now. I think that training camp is going to give us a clear picture of where Marvin Bagley III and Patrick Baldwin Jr. would slot, because you very well could see Marvin Bagley III backing up Alex Sarr in the second unit and Patrick Baldwin Jr. backing up Kyle Kuzma. Very similar skill set and size to, not as good as Kyle Kuzma, but definitely a guy that you want to learn from Kyle Kuzma. But looking at the 2 guard, obviously Bilal Coulibaly is the guy starting, and Corey Kispert, that's what I'm saying. Corey Kispert could be small forward on the second unit. It could be the shooting guard. And it really depends on where they slot Keyshawn George, because Keyshawn George could, play small forward, which sends Corey Kispert to the 2. And then it gets interesting, right? Because, who gets priorities in minutes between Jared Butler and Bub Carrington. So, and obviously, when it comes to Keyshawn George and Bob Carrington, a lot has to do with the performances in Summer League. And, we're going to get into Summer League in a little bit. But, I think that their performance in Summer League are really going to give us an indicator where they might slot in the depth charts. But, like I said, updated is relatively early in the game. Obviously, a lot of moves have to be made, a lot of dominoes. But, right now, we're getting closer and closer to a final product. Obviously, Anthony Gibbs, a free agent. Do we bring him back? I think he definitely, as far as a leadership standpoint, you bring him back. But I think we're starting to see the permanent roster. Obviously, there's still moves, as far as the go two-way contract, stuff like that. But we're starting to get a clearer picture of what this year coming up, what the starting five and what our second unit is going to look like. So we're going to get into Summer League schedules and rosters. And then I'm going to give you guys a itinerary for the rest of the week, what we're going to talk about and go from there, because a lot going on this week coming up. So, but before we get into Summer League's schedule and rosters, tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. So, I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games, and the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every single day, all summer long, y'all. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day long? Have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports Today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel program for you every single day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. All right, let's get back into it. So looking ahead real quick, guys, Summer League is coming up. So we're going to look at the schedule real quick, and then I'm going to give you guys the roster. So first game is Friday. So definitely tune in Friday on ESPN. They are playing against the Atlanta Hawks at 9:30 Eastern time. And all the games are at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. The second game, and it's actually 5 games. There's an option for a 5th game if they go into the playoff round, but there's 4 to start out. So the first one is Friday, July 12th. This Friday at 9:30 on ESPN against the Atlanta Hawks. The second game is Sunday, July 14th against the Houston Rockets at 6 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN2. And obviously, we're going to do live recaps of both games like we do during the regular season, because I know a lot of us are very, very excited to see what these young guys do. Game number 3 will be Tuesday, July 16th against the Portland Trailblazers, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on NBA TV. And the 4th game, obviously there's 5 that could potentially happen, but the 4 right now, Thursday, July 18th against the Sacramento Kings, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. So definitely tune in for these games, because I'm going to do live recaps for all of them, man, and and definitely chop up you get like we always do during the regular season, man. But we're gonna pick up some excitement for this year, man, because a lot of excitement going this year, man. And like I said, I want this season with you guys to be special, because it could potentially be my last with Locked On, man. So like I said, I definitely want to have a good year with you guys and let's get this thing started. So let's take a look at the Summer League roster real quick. I'm not gonna get too much in their backgrounds, but I'm going to tell you the names of the players, man. Number 1 on the list is Kyle Alexander Ford. Guard Jules Bernard, forward Xavier Cooks. That Xavier Cooks, the guy from Australia that we actually did waive, but he is back on the Summer League roster. So he's another compelling player who we'll see, man. Guard Bilal Coulibaly, big. And why is this big before I get into the other players in this list? Because not only is he getting Summer League experience, he's getting experience with the Olympics. He's going to get a lot of work this summer, man. And this is good for a player like Bilal, man, because you want to see him break out a lot sooner. You want to see that work. And with the Olympics, man, you're going to see him playing against starting caliber players and other teams, especially teams like Team USA, Team Canada. The list goes on. There's teams, man, that international play is going to be fun to watch, man. Like I said, I was a critic in the past, but I am not anymore. I like FIBA. I love the Olympics. I love watching it shows you the diversity of the NBA. I love it, man. The reach of the NBA, where it goes into Europe, goes into the Middle East, goes into Africa, it goes into Asia, it goes into the Americas, whether it's north or south. It goes to all the areas of the country, man. So, that's what I love about the NBA, and that's why I'm very excited about the Olympics, and why you should be excited about Bilal, because, you very well could see a very different player this year. A guy who's going to come into this season very ready to break out, and really you're going to see the development from year 1 to year 2, man. So if you're excited about Alex R and Bilal Coulibaly as far as being that 1-2 punch long term for the Wizards to build around, man, I'm telling you, I'm very, very excited. Some other guys on the list, guys. Johnny Davis, look, this is very important summer league for him. He's got to show something because this very well could be him auditioning for a roster spot. Keyshawn George is knocking on the door. Obviously, looking at Bub Carrington knocking on the door, man. So definitely, want to see some from Johnny Davis, man. And like I said, this is this. See, oh my bad, y'all. This is totally the wrong one. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull up the right one. Man, give me a second, everybody. Because I went and did the summer league schedule for the Wizards, and it gave me last year. So give me a second, and I'll get you guys the right one because I don't know if they have a permanent one yet. Let's see. There we go. All right, everybody. Let's start this off again. My bad. Shaq in the fool moment. So right now they don't have the roster. Sorry. Right now I'm not seeing the rosters for right now for the Wizards is still, but I guess to kind of reiterate that, on my Shaq in the fool moment, guys. Again, Johnny Davis, we'll see on Summer League. Obviously he's got to show something relatively quick. Summer League, like I said, is not finalized. I thought that it was, but it was last year, so that's on me, guys. But I gave you guys the times and the date for this year's Summer League schedule, so definitely tune in for that. But again, before we roll, kind of talk about the importance of Keyshawn George and Bub Carrington and Alex Sarr in Summer League, man. Because like I said, outside of Shaq the Fool moment, very, very important for them. And that's really the question right now. Before we go into the second ad break, is how important is it for the development for these guys as far as securing roster spots? And I think that it's very, very important to show what they can do early on, man. Because like I said, with Landry Shamet out of the game, Keyshawn George, we'll see if he starts off with a go-go. I think Bub Carrington, because he is an earlier pick, he was a pick that they traded for as far as the Denny Avia trade. Bub Carrington, and obviously, looking at the Bub Carrington trade as far as, trading Denny to Portland, he's the one guy you want to see pay dirt from because, for you to justify moving on from a young player who could have been part of the future in DC. And while, he was very tradable. And, if you look now, was he part of the future in the eyes of the front office? No. So, but Bub Carrington is definitely a guy, especially local product, man, that you want to see definitely, perform well in Summer League, man, because he very well could be the point guard of the futures. Looking at Jordan Poole, he's got 3 more years left. So could he be part of the future? I think more and more as time goes by, you're looking more as, Bub Carrington could be that guy long term. And it could be Jordan Poole. Like I said, there's a lot of dominoes need to fall because this is an important season for a lot of players, guys. I mean, this is a very important season for a lot of guys, not only from the standpoint of rookies, obviously Keyshawn George, obviously Bub Carrington, obviously Alex Sarr, second overall pick. You definitely want to see him because he very well could be that 1-2 punch, that that tandem that the Wizards build around. And I would, if I'm gonna build around somebody, it's gonna be around Bilal Coulibaly and Alex Sarr because I think that 1-2 punch is definitely something to build around. So, but there's a lot of people this season that they have to show something. Johnny Davis, we'll see. We definitely will have to see on that front. We'll see if they retain him. We'll see if he's on a summer league schedule, or roster. Because I like I said, my bad, man. It's definitely a Shaq that full moment. But you guys are cool, man. So you guys understand. But they have to finalize the summer league rosters yet. I thought they did, and I pulled it up, but it was the wrong one. But we'll see on Johnny Davis. But a lot to look forward to this season going up, guys. And like I said, this summer league is going to be very, very exciting because, like I said, we're going to do live recaps and we're going to look, definitely chop it up after each one, man, because there's a lot of excitement because going into year 2 rebuild, getting back to my, what I was just talking about, a lot of people have to show something. Jordan Poole is one of those guys. He has to put his stamp on the point guard position. He's got to show that he could be that guy. And I think he can. I think that, look, he's going to come in. This is going to be definitely an episode this week coming up. I'll give you a sneak peek. This week, we're going to talk about Jordan Poole. Does he come into the season with a chip on the shoulder? And I think so. He's going to come into the season with a chip on the shoulder, and you're going to see a guy who's ready to put the league on notice. But, Kyle Kuzma, he's a guy where, we'll see. It's 50-50 whether he gets moved, in my opinion, because I feel like the best time was his previous trade deadline this previous season. But, if you look at other factors, they talked to him about, a potential move to Dallas. The fact that he's setting roots as far as being a small business owner, opening restaurants in DC and the Commonwealth of Virginia. The fact that he likes it here. And, here's the thing, like I said, these next 3 years are rebuild years. So Kyle Kuzma is one of those guys where you can see him being moved, especially if they're able to net 2 first-round picks. but he's a guy that you very well can see here for the next 3 years. Jonas Valanciunas again, yeah, he's got a very team-friendly contract, but I think this first year of his contract is going to kind of prove, or is going to let everybody know where he really is, because obviously now he's going to start to decline. Now, how fast does he decline? That you're definitely going to see that this season coming up, or he could maintain stats from the previous 2 seasons. But age 32, you're going to start to see a guy decline a little bit. So there's a lot of people who have to prove themselves this season, not just young guys, man. But, and like I said, there's a lot of dominoes need to fall. Corey Kispert, we're going to talk about, future trade pieces like Corey Kispert. But I'm going to give you guys an itinerary for the rest of the week. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. So, as you guys know, I'm a big advocate for talking to somebody. I'm a big advocate for BetterHelp. Like I said, this past couple of weeks have been very, very, very hard for me because obviously people think that, there's a small percentage of people, but think that I might be leaving because of trolls. And it's not a reason why I'm leaving. It has a lot more to do with being a future homeowner and a small business owner myself. And like I said, a year's a long time and it's not final, but big reason is a friend of mine from the Army, he passed away through suicide. And that's definitely an issue that a lot of people, as far as being Army veterans, Marine veterans, any kind of war veteran, deal with. And that's why I said, I'm a big advocate for talking to somebody, right? Because it hit me hard. And that's why I've been kind of, not myself these last couple of weeks, man, because he was a good friend of mine that I went to war with. So getting back to BetterHelp, this is why I advocate talking to somebody, everybody. Because look, if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So look, stop comparing and start focusing on yourself with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. And for my military folk, that's Hotel Echo Lima Papa.com/LockedOnWizards. So yeah, I kind of told you guys a little bit about, last couple of weeks, man. Like I said, don't think that the decision to leave is the easy one. It's not. Like I said, a year's a long time. We still got a year together. Things change, man. But I look forward to the next era, man. Being a business owner and being a homeowner, man. And like I said, it's been real. A lot of love from 99% of you guys, man. And I enjoy doing this. And like I said, all things come to an end. But that was a big reason, man. I haven't been myself, everybody's, because a good friend of mine, man. Shout out to Kevin Van Donzel, guy I went to Iraq with, guy that actually introduced me to my wife. So this was a loss that touched not only myself but my wife. So this is kind of giving you guys kind of an eye into my life a little bit, man. So let's do an itinerary for the rest of the week. Tomorrow night we will have Locked On Trailblazers host the talk to us about Malcolm Brogdon. What can we expect from Malcolm Brogdon, which is another guy in the depth chart we didn't mention? That's on me. Malcolm Brogdon again. That's why likelihood of a Tyus Jones move is looking more and more unlikely, because you have that veteran guard and Malcolm Brogdon who looked like he could be the sixth man. And again, looking at the guard rotation, obviously we're going to see with Bub Carrington and Keyshawn George, even though Keyshawn George is more of a forward. But Malcolm Brogdon, Jordan Poole, Jared Butler, it's getting crowded a little bit. So on our turn, Tuesday night, we're going to have, man, State of the Wizards hosts, both co-hosts, man, Wiz Takes and DC Hoopla on the show to chat up about Will Dawkins and how they, where did they grade Will Dawkins as far as his trades, his free agent moves, and his draft choices. And we're going to get into the free agent market a little bit more and rounding out the roster for the Wizards this week. So we got a lot coming up this week, guys. But again, appreciate you guys, man. Had a Shaq that Fu moment tonight, but I know that 99% of you guys, man, already understand, man, brother, man, working, man. So definitely that's on me. But as soon as the final roster does come out, I will be your first source, man, to go ahead and chat about it and tell you what the plus and the minuses and the pros and cons of the summer league schedule, because I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's starting this week, so definitely looking forward to it. So again, appreciate you guys, man. Hope everybody had a good weekend, man. It was hot out here in the DMV, man, but definitely I hope everybody had a blessed and productive weekend. And I will see you guys tomorrow night, man. We will bring on Locked On Blazers hosts to talk about Malcolm Brogdon. So again, appreciate you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Hail to the Wizards and peace.